Hi there, in this video segment we're going to talk about how you can utilize the interactive whiteboard that's part of your new line panel. In a previous video we talked about how you could annotate over the top of existing content such as a Google slideshow or a PDF file. In this example we're going to show you how you can use your whiteboard, which is really a blank slate. Think of it kind of like the whiteboard that you may have in your classroom, but you have access to a lot more digital tools that you can use on screen. So let's take a look at how to open it up and utilize some of the key features of it. Right from your home screen off to the left hand side on your dashboard, you can go ahead and select the whiteboard option. So we'll go ahead and select that option and open up a white screen here ready for you to add your own content. You can change the colors and backgrounds if you choose to do so, as well as utilize a variety of tools down here at the bottom. Before we start working with it, we want to show you how you can change some of the defaults in terms of how the board will recognize the pen or the finger or hand that you use on screen here. So in order to adjust those settings, down here in the bottom right hand corner, go ahead and select that little cog wheel. And then at the top, there are a couple of options for object recognition. The first option is if you want to only use the pen as the recognition tool, you'd make sure you choose that first option there. If you want to be able to use the pen as well as your hand to navigate and mark up, make sure you choose that second option. And then the other place we're going to zone in here a little bit is the different backgrounds and the colors that you can use as your default. So under background here, we'll choose that little arrow. We'll go to the color tab here and we'll set it to blue. And we'll also go to the pattern section. Right now there's no pattern set, but if we want to choose, say, this little grid line option here, we'll choose that and it automatically saves. So we'll go back here, and the next time you open up a new slide, so down here in the bottom, you have a little plus sign to add a new slide, you'll get that default set up there. So kind of think about your whiteboard sort of like a Google slideshow in terms of you can add individual slides. So down here at the bottom, I'm on page 2 of 2. If I go back, my little back arrow takes me to that first page. So I'm going to go to page 2 here, and we'll show you how you can utilize some of the different drawing tools down here at the bottom. Again, you have a pen, eraser, and some different shapes that you can add. So I'm going to go ahead and select the little pen option here. I will use yellow, and I'll use that largest style. And I'm just going to come here and maybe make a little drawing here as if we're going to do some graphing. So it's very easy to draw. Again, you can use highlighters and different colors. If you want to add a shape, down here are some different shapes that you can use. I will go ahead and use the triangle option here. So as I push and hold, it's going to make that triangle shape. And if I want to be able to move that shape around on screen or change the color of it, I would use this little lasso or selection tool here, and I would just circle it. Makes that little faint blue line around it. And now it's sort of an editing mode where I can drag it around on screen here. I can change the color of it. And there's also an option for me to lock it in place, which allows me now to draw over the top of it. So I'm just going to take a different color here, and I can move these angles around. And if I had kids come up and start moving around, that object would stay in place. If I want to remove that object off the screen here, again, I'm just going to turn that selection tool back on. I'm going to select the entire thing. So because I have objects on top of it, I'll move those objects off to the right here. Again, make sure that selection tool is turned on. When you come here and double tap on that shape, you have the option to unlock it and then delete it. Now in terms of erasing, there are a couple of different eraser options. Again, the main one to get rid of everything at one time is that little screen with the eraser on top of it. Allows you to clear everything. I'm going to cancel that, or you can do some more fine-tune erasing. So if I select that other eraser, and the option to the left here allows me to just erase sort of more fine-tuning kinds of things. If I want to erase just the middle of something, I can go ahead and do that, and you can use the palm of your hand to do that as well. The other option allows you to get rid of sort of larger sections of the drawing that you've created. So if I go ahead and just take my finger or the palm of my hand, and I can just draw a line through whatever images or shapes that I have drawn, and it will remove all of those at one time. Now, because I have a couple of different slides here, you notice I have 2 of them created. If you want to remove individual slides out of your whiteboard, you can push and hold on those numbers down here, and it'll bring up the navigation where you can choose to select just certain slides. So if I want to get rid of 1 or 2, or I can choose select all and get rid of them all at one time. I'm going to choose to get rid of my very first slide there, which was blank, and I'll just hit the little delete button there, and it's gone for us. So other things that you can do with your whiteboard, there's some built-in tools, some digital tools with rulers and protractors that you can add as well. So those maybe aren't as intuitive here. They're not on the main screen here. So off to the left-hand side, there are 3 little dots. And if you select those, there's a section here for tools, and then you can go to rulers, and you can go ahead and add in a protractor, You can move that around on screen and line that up and measure different angles, but there are also rulers that you can use. So we just really encourage you to kind of get in there and add some of these and experiment with some of the different functionality that you can use with protractors and rulers that are on the screen. If you go to the File option here under those three dots, we're just going to let you know that there are options where you can save this. As you integrate this and log into your Google Drive, you will be able to save this whiteboard to your Google Drive, which is saved, or you can choose to save it locally on the whiteboard as well, because there's a place to save things there. And then finally, under this options section, there is a Canvas section, and I can choose to have split mode, which will create two sections on the panel. So if you wanted to have students come up and sort of work in their own space, they could come up here in their own zone and they can't cross over into each other, of course, unless they just reach over there and mess things up. And they have some limited colors that they can use, as well as line thickness, or they can clear things out as well. So those are some of the basics of using the interactive whiteboard. Really just encourage you to get in there, start clicking around and trying some of the different options and functionality that you find. Thank you for your time and good luck.